Alright, so right now I'm just going to talk about the Lincoln LS bleed procedure, bleeding the coolant. You pretty much have to keep on doing this over and over again till you get as much coolant as you can in there. You're supposed to be able to put right under 3 gallons. I used to have green coolant in there, but now I'm running the gold coolant because living in Florida it's really hot, so you just want to run the best coolant you can. But what you want to do always is open this bleeder before you open your degas bottle, because if you don't, then air will go inside. That's supposed to let all the air out before you open the degas bottle. And then when you do, when you always want to have that open when you add coolant in. And then you want to close it, start it up, let it run for about 5 minutes. Then you want to open the bleeder valve, rev your engine for around 2 or 3 minutes, maybe more depending on what your preference is on actually getting all the air out. And then after that you want to close it, run the car with the heater on. You always want to have the heater on when you're doing this, so leave the heater on, turn it all the way up, and then after you close it, after bleeding it, let it run for 5 minutes with the heater on. And then you want to turn on the AC to 75 degrees for about 2 minutes. Then you just want to turn it off, and then the coolant should go down, just like mine did. So I'm gonna go find my screwdriver and I'm gonna add more coolant. Alright, so I found my screwdriver. Let's see if I can open this with one hand. I need a GoPro so I don't have to do this. Yeah, I'm gonna have to use 2 hands real quick. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention, that's what you're gonna be looking for when you bleed it. A steady stream with no air bubbles or anything. And when you open it, I'll show you. It's gonna go away. And then you hear the coolant bubbling. It should be going down. So right now I'm gonna add more coolant in there so I get the auto focus. Alright, so I'm just gonna add more in there. You don't want to put it way too high. Right about there. You don't want to put it all the way up where it'll actually, well no, I shouldn't get there because it's higher than the lid does. Also, you don't want to get coolant to run through these hoses, but it won't because that sits higher. So now you want to get coolant in there, you want to close the lid, and then coolant should start running out of your bleeder again. If not, then you just close it, because it's probably a good sign, meaning there's no air in there. Then you want to start her up again. Let me close this and then I will get back to it. Alright, so we got it closed. We're going to go start the car. Make sure that you want to turn the heater back on. Turn the AC off. Make sure the hot air starts blowing. It's possible it'll start boiling or bubbling, but mainly because you don't have full coolant. You're not full on coolant, so that's something to keep in mind. And also, you might have air in your system. It's probably a little bit of both though. So I'm gonna let my car sit for about 5 minutes, and then I'm gonna open the bleeder. And then, by the way, you know it's hot when it's hard to breathe when you're sitting in your car, and you will also be sweating too. So Yeah, it's really getting hot. So you know your heater core is working when it's hot. So I'm gonna get out of the car because it's just way too hot to sit in. Also, when adding coolant, what I like to do is I like to turn the heater core on. Like, this is when you first add coolant, when you have no coolant inside your vehicle at all. You want to open up your thermostat, and you want to pour coolant in there while you're running the heater core, so you can get it running to your radiator. And then you just, when it overflows, it'll start sucking it down. But then when you can't put any more in there, then you want to close it, and then you want to add it in the degas bottle. But as you're doing that, always leave open the bleeder valve so you don't get any air inside the system, because that's a big pain when your car overheats when it's trying to bleed it out. So that's just one thing to keep in mind. Yeah, so I just came inside because I live in Florida, so it's really hot outside. But yesterday I just bought a SCT X4 programmer. So when I get that in, I'm gonna put a video up on how to program it and everything that you can actually do with the LS, with rev limiters, taking that off, changing it to 5,500 RPM, whatever you want it to be, and taking off the top speed limiter, just everything you can do with that programmer. And when it comes in, I'll just take a video and post that up in a few days, so be tuned for that one too. Alright, so it's probably been sitting for about 5 minutes ish, so I'm going to open up the bleeder valve, and if I get a steady stream, it's most likely that the way I put the coolant in with the bleeder open, that it didn't get any air in, which is a good sign. That's less work that you have to do. Alright, so I just opened it, and we're looking good. Don't see any bubbles or anything. I'm going to probably give it a little bit of a rev, hold it about 2,000 just to get any excess air that might be inside out. So I'm just hold it for like 30 seconds. Don't want to lose all my coolant, so. Alright, now let's go check it out. Another good solid flow. Everything is good, so I'm gonna close it and run it for 5 more minutes and turn the AC on. And one thing that's probably most important I forgot to mention, always keep an eye on the temperature gauge. So make sure that doesn't go all the way up, because that's not good. But it's been sitting here for more than 5 minutes, so we're gonna go ahead and turn it back 75 degrees. Click the AC button and then let it sit for 2 minutes. Alright, so it's been 2 minutes. So what you want to do is shut your car off. Someone's backyard on fire. That's a lot of smoke. I don't know. Maybe it was burning leaves or something. The coolants went down a little bit. We'll see if it'll go down a little bit more. And I'll get right back to you if it does.